All right, let's get started, ladies and gentlemen, for the Recruiting Live Show. I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood. Excited to be with you guys tonight because it's time. It's time as we get closer to the early signing period, to the regular signing period. I know we've got athletes that are in the 2024 class. I know we've got younger athletes too. So you guys are in the spot to be if you are a young, aspiring college football recruit that wants to get to the next level. So excited to be with you guys tonight. I know we have young men, we have families watching from across the country. Some of you guys may be watching live. Some of you guys may be watching recorded, but you're all welcome. And thank you for joining us. We do this every single Tuesday, you guys, to bring you the insight, to bring you the education that you need to get to the next level, okay? So first and foremost, I am your host, Coach Terrence Wood. Excited to be with you guys once again. Like I said, we line this show up every single Tuesday to bring you guys what you need. It's not always about the most talented athletes. Sometimes it's about the ones that know how to do the right things at the right time. So this is a labor of love for me, you guys. Years of helping student athletes, football players get to the next level. We work with young men at the high school, junior college, and prep school level that want to play at some level of college football. That is who this is for. If you are a baseball player, if you're a soccer player, a basketball player, it doesn't mean that there's not information that you can't take from this, but this is intended, you guys, specifically for football players, that are pre-college football players. Those are the ones that are going to get the most out of it. And at the end of the day, you guys, this is what I want you to experience. This is what I want you to experience. Now, obviously, not everybody's going to experience it on the Clemson level, but there's nothing like a dream being accomplished, a dream being fulfilled. You guys have to put in years of work, years of focus to get to the level where somebody's going to give you a college football opportunity, whether that's a scholarship opportunity, whether that's a preferred walk-on opportunity. These roster spots are capped. They're capped, you guys. So that means they're not for everybody. And I want you guys to be able to experience this. I've experienced this myself. Now, I didn't go to Clemson. I went to the University of Colorado, but there was nothing like the feeling of running out on that college football field for the very first time, you guys, and not looking from the stands, but actually on the stage, actually on the field, actually a participant. There's nothing like that feeling. And I don't care if it's Division I, Division II, D3, NAIA, it's all a win. It's all a lottery ticket. You are one of the few if you get to experience this type of experience, you guys. So that's what this is all about. I want you guys to make it to the level that you want to go. And one thing that we always have to remember is it's a journey. It's a journey. If you guys have been with us before for a Recruiting Live show, you guys have seen similar slides to this, maybe using different athletes, players that have been in our program, but it is indeed a journey. This is young Gino Campiati. This is an athlete that is a before you go pro athlete. We thought when he signed with Northern Arizona out of high school, you guys, that was it. We thought that was it, that he was set. His parents thought he was set, but little do you know, there's twists and turns, right, to the journey. So he went off to Northern Arizona where they tried to switch him from a quarterback to a tight end. He ended up playing tight end at Northern Arizona, an FCS school. He didn't want to stay as a tight end. So that third picture to the right with the number 3 and the blue jersey on, that's when he went to Sam Modesto Junior College and went back to the quarterback position. And after that, you guys, he got another Division I offer from UMass. So now he's going from FCS to FBS. He's going a higher level. He validated himself, so to speak, right? But guess what? When he got to UMass, then they switched him to tight end as well. So the far right picture, you guys, is a 5-year manifestation, a 5-year journey to where Gino is right now, from a high school quarterback all the way to a college FBS tight end. And I see the Munoz family joining us from Texas as always. Love you guys. Hopefully all as well as we approach the holidays. I know you guys got a superstar recruit in your home, and that's why this is great content for you guys. So, hey, Gino is a tight end, you guys, right now in college, playing major college football at UMass. But he started as a high school quarterback. So there's a journey to this, you guys. And before you go pro, it's not just about the recruiting side of this. We want to make sure that you're ready for all elements that you guys are going to go through. So when you guys are thinking recruiting, when you're thinking recruiting, it's no different, you guys, really, than trying to get a job somewhere. Let's say there's a very exclusive job at a hedge fund or something. Maybe there's a job for the Raiders or for the Niners, whatever NFL team you like, and you're trying to go after this job. It's the same thing for a college football recruiting scholarship or a roster spot. It's very exclusive. It's going to be competitive if it's a great job, and you're better off if you have some relationships, if you know somebody, if you've got some leverage, right? So before you go pro, we have tons of leverage and relationships that help young football players get to the next level. Right here, you see a bunch of young men that want to do what you want to do. They want to go play college football. Some of these young men are already in college because this was years ago at one of our college tours. And that is the great Alonzo Carter. He's grilling them a little bit on their core courses. You see, he's got the sheet in his hand. That's talking about GPA right there. And he's talking to somebody that didn't fully know what they were talking about when it came to their GPA. But Coach Carter is a dear friend, you guys, of Before You Go Pro, what we're about. And he has definitely helped some of our young athletes get to San Jose State. And we've got a great relationship with Coach Carter. So a lot of this, you guys, isn't just about your talent. If we get a little bit later in the timeline, if we're a little bit later getting to that scholarship offer, it might just be a relationship. Your huddle film may be fine. Your grades may be fine, but you just need a relationship like Coach Carter to get you to the next level. Right here, we've got Coach Cormier. Coach Cormier is coaching as we speak. He's on TV as we speak with Ball State University. And he says, Terrence, that's myself, Coach Wood, is someone I've known for almost 30 years now. He is very passionate about helping people reach their goals in life. I feel that Before You Go Pro is a great tool for any parent that wants to get to the next level or athlete, right? So we have the relationships, you guys, and what we're going to be talking about tonight and what we talk about every single Tuesday on the Recruiting Live show is some of the tactics, some of the strategies, the tips that we use. We have a live Q&A session. The comment section is open. So as you're hearing some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight pertaining to college football recruiting, don't forget that if you have a question, feel free to pop it in the comment section so we can help you out. I see the great David Walker. That is one of my new superstars out of Nevada, Lowry High School. Great high school. He says, checking in. I see the great Coach Hughes says, what's up, Coach T? And then, of course, we've got our very own Coach Foss with us. He says, welcome all. Hit like and subscribe to get the notifications because we're heating up with this thing. We're heating up with this recruiting thing. We definitely want to make sure that you get the notifications. And then J Rock, the Manu family, says out here from Vegas, we got another Nevada family, and we love you guys. And this is speaking directly to you guys. Tip Manu, David Walker, some superstars in our program that are definitely going to have some options at the next level, and we're being proactive with them. So this is where we're at, you guys. This is where we're at. We want to be at the bottom. We want to be proactive instead of reactive. That is exactly why you guys are on the Recruiting Live show tonight. And then this is our emphasis. We've always got our targets. We always know what we want to hit, just like that bullseye on the dartboard. This is where we're at, baby. So right now, guess what? November 11th, the very first time, I'm speaking specifically to you 2024 players, the very first time that you guys can put pen to paper is coming up. It's a little bit over a month away, a month and a half away, December 20th. Okay, so I want to talk about what this means. Now, when you're looking at this right here, December 20th is for the high school players that already pretty much know where they want to go. Maybe you've been going at this recruiting process for a while. You've already had your offers for a while. You've already taken official and unofficial visits. You've got a great relationship with the coaching staff and you're ready to go. Maybe it's an alma mater that your parents went to or your brother and you're ready to go. You knew where you wanted to go. You're ready to put pen to paper. So that is exactly who December 20th is for. And you have a 3-day period, you guys, to sign. Now, you can sign with a Division I team. You can sign with a D2 team, D3, NAIA. It doesn't matter. But if you sign, then that means you're locked in. That means you're locked in, okay? So let's say you sign with San Diego State on the 20th, but now Cal Berkeley, now Michigan's calling you. You're locked in with San Diego State unless they let you out that offer. So some kids are rushing to that December 20th date, but they better be for sure that that's the school they really want to go to. So that's typically who this is for, you guys, and it's for the schools at the highest level mostly. Now, you will get kids that sign D2, D3, but for the most part, this is the Division I kids. Now, the second rung, the second level that you guys see right there, that one says Division I and Division II mid-year JC transfers. That one, you guys, is for the JC and the prep school kids. So it starts the same day as the early period, the high school JC prep school kids 2024 class. We're all open to sign for the very first time and make it official on the 20th. For all of us, it's the same. But for the high school kids, it cuts off. It cuts off for the high school kids that won't be attending that school until the summer or the fall. It's only a 3-day period during the early period. But for the older kids, the JC and prep school kids, as you guys see here on far right in the middle, it goes till the 15th. And it goes till the 15th because that's the deadline for them to, it's probably even really before then, but that's the absolute deadline for those kids to be NCAA eligible to attend a school in the spring. So these are those high school kids that are graduating early. These are those junior college kids that won't stay that second semester in junior college. They're ready to go to college. These are those prep school kids who are ready to go to college and compete in spring ball. That's who this is for. They have until January 15th. And then at the bottom, you guys, that's Division I and Division II regular period. And you guys have all the way till April for the Division I until August for Division II, Division III, and NAIA. So we have some time. We have to be urgent. We have to be mindful, because these spots are dwindling, but we do have some time. Now, I've got some things that I want to show you guys here. Now, keep in mind, we are in an evaluation period. And if you guys haven't been with us on some of the earlier college football recruiting live shows, the evaluation period means that a coach can pop up on you anytime. He can pop up on you at your game, at your school, that you guys are fully being evaluated right now. So they are definitely having meetings talking about you, David Walker, Tip Manu, Jesse, some of the other players we have, a Connor, Simcox. They're talking about you guys, okay? And they're deciding if they want to give you an offer, if they want you to be a part of their program. So you guys see right here in the light blue, September, October, November, the very, very heavy evaluation times, you guys. So what I wanted to do tonight, usually we cover one of our own athletes, and we'll continue to do that as we move through the recruiting period, because the recruiting live show, you guys, is going to go all the way until the regular signing period until February. So we're going to be serving you guys, feeding into you, answering questions all the way until February, until you guys are signed, sealed, and delivered. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about some of the questions that we get. And usually we cover some of our own athletes. We tell you what we're doing with their recruiting process, and then you guys can learn from that. You guys can see if you need support, if you want Before You Go Pro to help you from listening to some of our other athlete situations. But tonight, you guys, I wanted to just go over some of the questions that we get asked the most during this time of year. Now, if you're watching the recording of this, if you're watching the recording of this later, we're in November, beginning of November, and then we've got the early and regular signing period coming up in a month and 3 months for the regular signing period. And then once again, that regular signing period is just the opening. It extends all the way through the spring. Okay, so just if you don't sign during the early signing period, if you don't sign as soon as the regular signing period opens, it's okay as long as you got some things in motion. Okay, so I want to go over 3 questions that we typically get during this time of year. I thought that was a fruitful way for us to spend our time this evening. And the first question, you guys, that we usually get, Coach Foss knows this, and we've been doing this for years, so this one always pops up. Is it too late to go D1? Is it too late to go to a Division I school? Once again, currently we're in November. We've got about a month, a little bit over until the early period. We've got about 3 months until the regular period. So am I too late, Coach? Am I too late? I'm not hearing my phone ring. I'm not getting DMs. I feel like I'm a Division I player. Am I too late? So that is a great question, you guys, and I want to break it down for you guys. Obviously, we're always going to be open and honest because that's the only way that we're going to be able to truly educate you guys and make sure that you're on top, right? So let's get into it. There's 3 levels of Division I football, you guys. 3 levels of Division I football. Now, the one at the top is Power 5. So 3 levels. You can play Power 5, you can play Group of 5, you can play FCS. No matter which one you're playing, you are a Division I football player. But the reason why I have Power 5 separated at the top, you guys, is because Power 5 is the highest level, and it's the level that moves the fastest as far as recruiting options and as far as slots, you guys. So when you think Power 5, those are your big boy conferences. Pac-12 in the middle will be gone after this year, and it's probably only going to be Power 4, but these are the big boy conferences. These are the ones that most likely will have the chance to play in the college football playoffs. So as far as that goes, you guys, when you ask me, is it too late, Coach, to go D1? It's not too late to go D1, but it's probably your chances of going Power 5 as a scholarship athlete are probably slim. Power 5, the highest level, SEC, Pac-12, Big 10, Big 12. As a scholarship player, probably a little slim. Not totally out the question, but probably a little slim, you guys. So once again, these are the conferences that I'm talking about. And the reason why I say probably pretty slim is because most of these conferences will be trying to fill out their recruiting, at least at the high school level. They may be bringing in some transfer portal kids, all throughout the year, but at least at the high school level, they're going to try to finish up for the most part December 20th through the 22nd during that early period. There will still be some slots available, but they're going to be trying to finish up for the most part these big boy conferences right there. So the big boys eat first. Now, we still have 2 levels, right? We still have 2 levels of Division I football that are pretty big time levels of college football. So let's talk about the other 2 levels for you guys. And we've got Group of 5 and FCS. So when you say, Coach, is it too late to go D1? It is definitely not too late to go D1 at the Group of 5 or FCS level, and you can still go scholarship. You can definitely go PWO, but you can definitely still go scholarship too. I'm going to show you plenty of examples of kids that are maybe a little bit later with their recruiting process and still play major Division I football. So maybe not Power 5. You might not be playing at Michigan if you haven't got a call yet. You might not be playing at USC, but you can play at big time schools like Tulane, like FAU, like San Diego State, like Nevada Reno, big time programs that are going to be playing some big time football. So when we say Group of 5 is Division I high level. You're going to be on TV for sure. There's some games playing right now that are Group of 5. These are the levels that are Group of 5, you guys. And when we're talking about late, this is a perfect example. Javarius Sims, he's a before you go pro athlete, amazing cornerback out of Georgia. He's playing at Central Michigan right now. Central Michigan's on TV, so he's not Power Five. He doesn't play in his level. He usually plays a couple of big schools early in the season. So currently, Javarius is at Central Michigan. He's playing in Maction, which plays on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So he's on TV a lot. And he's played a couple of big schools. He played against Penn State this year. So he may not be in a Power 5 conference, but he gets to play against some of those schools as well. So when it comes back to this and you're saying, Coach, is it too late for me to get that D1 scholarship? No, it's not too late for you to get the D1 scholarship. I just told you Javarius is playing D1 football tonight, and look at the date on when he signed or when he committed. And then he signed. Now he's coming out of a prep school, but you see the date in the top right-hand corner. That is all the way in May. In May, you guys, he signed D1. Now, also, you guys might be saying, Coach, but you told me right here, April 1st. If we look at the bottom, Division I regular period, April 1st. Well, he was a prep school kid, so they can get him in a little bit later. And there's always wiggle room. A lot of you guys don't know this, and this is why you come to the Recruiting Live show. But technically, colleges can actually sign against a future year. And what does that mean, Coach Wood? That means that they may only have 24 scholarships this year, but technically, I've seen instances where they've signed ahead of schedule, where they basically deducted a scholarship offer from a future class because whatever happened, they needed to bring this kid in this year, and they're overextending their recruiting class. So they already know that they're going to have one less in 2025. So I've seen that before too. Now, obviously, you guys want to sign way before this, but this is my point is don't get so crazy where you're looking in other people's lanes, you're checking all the dates, and you're not aware that you can still sign later. Some people just think, oh man, I missed the early period. It's done for me. And right here is a perfect example of Javarius Sims playing big time college football, you guys. And he didn't even commit. He didn't even commit until late May. Look at this post. Thank you to the entire Central Michigan University coaching staff. And then he has the picture that says committed. And that was posted on May 27th, you guys. All right. So don't forget that. Now, when we go back to our groups, and here's the original question, because I know people are joining us late. Is it too late to go D1? I'm a 2024 college football recruit. I'm a prospect. I know it's November. I know the early periods in December. I know the regular periods in February. Is it too late, Coach Wood? And the answer is no. The answer is no, especially if you have some leverage or if you're with a company like ours that has some relationships. So when we go back to our levels, you might not be playing at the Power 5 level, but the Group of 5 level, which you see right here, and then the FCS level, which is these conferences. So some of you guys might be interested in playing at HBCU universities. Some of you guys may be interested in playing at a school like Mercer or a school like Campbell University. Some of you guys may be interested in the Big Sky, like Montana, like Northern Arizona, like Portland State, Sac State. Some of you guys may be interested in the Ivy League. There is plenty of time to get a scholarship and to be recruited by these schools. But you cannot just sit back on your heels. You have to be proactive because once again, these spots dwindle, okay? Now, when you guys say, hey, Coach, I haven't heard of some of those conferences, maybe I haven't heard of some of those teams, believe me, you guys, it's still big-time football. People like Cooper Kupp, who's a star wide receiver of the LA Rams, he came from Big Sky Conference. Talk about somebody like Hall of Famer Michael Strahan. He went to an HBCU, Texas Southern. That's FCS ball, okay? So all of this is Division I, and there's technically time to get a scholarship and a roster spot for all three, but very, very difficult to get a scholarship if you have not already been in contact with a Power 5 school by now. You may get a PWO, but most likely you're looking at a group of 5 or FCS school if you want a Division I scholarship right now. And once again, all of those schools are going to play on TV, and all of those schools are very exclusive opportunities and scholarships. But we got to get going. So that is the answer to question number 1, you guys. Is there still time? And the answer is definitely yes. Okay. Now, question number 2. And it still says number 1, but this is question number 2. So forgive us. How to reach out to schools. How to reach out to schools. Now, this is a big one. This is the one that we get all the time. And most of you guys are just machine gunning the place up. You're reaching out to every school, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, and some of you guys definitely can't even play at that level. And then once again, I'm telling you the urgency behind time. Why reach out to Georgia right now? Why reach out to Alabama when they already know who they're going to be signing, or they're already at least talking to them and tripping those kids out to their university? We're not going to waste our time with them. You may be a D1 athlete, but we're not going to waste our time, okay? So when we talk about, and once again, this is number 2, even though it says number 1, when we talk about how to reach out to schools, this is critical because once again, we've got to reach out to the right school, and then we've got to reach out to them the right way. You know, some of you guys may even reach out to the right school. A lot of people reached out to the wrong school. Some of you guys may even reach out to the right school, but you're reaching out to them the wrong way. So we're going to be covering that as we go through the Recruiting Live show, okay? So one thing that you guys always want to keep in mind, you athletes, you parents, you're trying to get closer to the bag, you're trying to get closer to that scholarship opportunity, is that coaches are always looking. Even when they say, I've had plenty of coaches, you guys tell me we're full, Coach Wood. And then a week later, they need something at the same spot that they said they were full at. Something changed. The kid they thought they were going to get, they didn't get. A kid that they had goes in the portal. A kid gets kicked out of school. So they're always looking for talent. What we want to do, you guys, as before you go pro, and then what you want to do as a student athlete is make it easy. You want to make yourself easy to find. Just like Coach Prime says with Colorado, I'm not hard to find. You want to make yourself easy to find as a college recruit, all right? A potential recruit. So these are some things, as I get a sip of my tea right here. These are some things I want you to take a look at, and I want you to keep in mind. Keep in mind. Now, of course, we're keeping this in mind if we're working on your behalf to get you to the next level. But if you're doing this on your own, these are some things that you definitely want to keep in mind. Now, the first one is preferred platforms. Some of you guys are like, hey, what's the best way to reach out to these coaches? Should I go on Instagram? Should I go on Twitter? Should I call them? Should I email them? What's the best way? And the preferred platform for you athletes and for you parents of athletes is going to be Twitter. You guys, it's going to be Twitter. Now, we have a little bit more leverage because I've got some close relationships with the athletes. Coach Foss does, people in our organization, where we can reach out to people's cell phones directly. We can email them and get a little bit more back on email. There's also times where they can't respond to recruits and recruits' families. So you may be reaching out to the right coach, you may be reaching out at the right to the right school, but they can't get back to you. They may have seen your film. They may have you on their recruiting board. They just cannot get back to you at that time. So keep that in mind too. But most likely your first contact with a coach is going to be through Twitter, a DM, a follow, or maybe them, stopping by the school or something. But if it's online, you're trying to find a way to break the ice with the coach, we want to start out on Twitter, okay? Number 2, don't overshoot your shot. That's something we've been talking about is, that's like the kid at the prom who, maybe he's not the most handsome guy in the world, a little squirrely, mumbles a little bit, and he's trying to go after the baddest girl in the whole school. That's probably not going to go that well. All right. So same thing here, you guys. If you didn't make all league, you can't reach out to Michigan. If you're not starting on your team, it doesn't mean you can't go play college football, but maybe it's D2, D3. You're overshooting your shot, a lot of you guys, where, we're wasting time too if we're overshooting our shot. Look at number 3. This is a big one. Coaches are human. Coaches are human. Even though you see them on TV, even though they got some money in their back pocket, even though they may work with Nick Saban, they may work with Coach Prime or Dabo Sweeney or Dan Lanning. They're human. They're human. And what I mean by that is be mindful, be thoughtful when you reach out to these coaches. Say something pleasant. Maybe congratulate them on leading. I'm a defensive back. I'm reaching out to this defensive back coach, and I see that his team is leading the conference in interceptions. You know, that's probably going to make him feel good as a human being as he sees somebody congratulate him on his team doing well, his staff, his unit doing well with interceptions. Maybe a team just had a big win. There was a huge win. And now you're calling them up saying, congrats, coach, on the huge win, was watching the game. That's exactly why you're the type of program I would love to play for. You guys represent yourself right, and you guys play hard till the end of the whistle, till the end of the game. That's the type of thing I want to hear about as a coach. You know, instead of me, what can you do for me, coach? Maybe every once in a while, coach, I'm patting you on the back. So keep in mind, you guys, that these coaches are human. You are talking to a human being. And then the last one is it's a numbers game. It's a numbers game. You guys have no idea how many times we talk to athletes, we talk to parents, and they say, hey, we reached out to SMU. We reached out to Cincinnati, Florida State twice, and they didn't get back to us. We guess that they're not interested. That is not the case. These people are tremendously busy, and these schools have a lot of people just like you reaching out to them. So it's a numbers game. But if you're reaching out to the right schools at the right times, I guarantee you, eventually you'll get through. Eventually you'll get through, you guys. And all you need is one. All you need. One is so critical. The number one is so critical. For one, because you've got something in your back pocket now. You know, you didn't have anything before. Now you're in Texas, and North Texas offers you. We just had a young man. He's in Texas, Lake Travis High School, and North Texas just offered him a PWO. Guess what? That is fabulous because that's leverage. We can blast that out. We can tell all the other schools that North Texas play. And then now he's got some leverage, right? So just one is so critical, but you guys got to get your numbers up. You got to get your numbers up. There's nothing wrong with doing recruiting on your own, but you guys are wondering why you don't have a breakthrough, and it's because you guys aren't getting your numbers up. We do recruiting calls and contacts every single week. Sorry, I got a little too close to the camera, so I'm getting blurry there. But we do recruiting contacts every single week. And plus, we've got long-standing relationships. So get your numbers up. Get your numbers up, and then you'll see the breakthrough, okay? If you're doing 5 a day, and you're doing 5 outreaches a day, DMs a day, email, whatever you're doing to reach out to schools. If you're doing 5 a day, you're doing 25 a week. If you're doing them 5 days a week, that adds up. That's 100 contacts a month. You're going to get 1, 2, 3 schools to reach out to you and really give you a shot. So keep that in mind. And these are the type of numbers we have to put in for our athletes at Before You Go Pro. Now, this is where I want you guys to start. I want you to start with your questionnaires. Your questionnaire. Some of you guys may not know what a questionnaire is. The very simple mindset behind a questionnaire is that you're in that school's database. They've got a database of 2024 recruits at all the positions at different schools. They need to put you in their database. So even if they find out about you some other way, you're going to go into the recruiting database where they can scrub you and they can really evaluate you. So you can start off there. Even if they're not recruiting you, you can start off by getting in that recruiting database. And that's the first step that we do with our athletes. And then we contact the schools. So what does that look like for you guys? Now, you always want to start off with a film evaluation, but let's say your film evaluation came back and you're like a Division I athlete, but you're a group of 5 athletes. So maybe you are good to go at a school like, Nevada, Reno, or you're good to go at a school like Cincinnati. Now Cincinnati's in the Big 12, so that's not a good example. Maybe a school like Tulane. Okay, so somebody's evaluated your school, your film, and said you could play at a school like Tulane. So the first thing I'm doing now is I got to get in Tulane's database. Now, also, it helps if I'm in their region. I don't want to be a West Coast kid trying to go after Tulane and I don't have anything. Okay. So I want to be a kid in Louisiana if I'm Mississippi, if I'm going after Tulane. Okay. But the first thing I'm going to do after I get that film review is I'm going to do a questionnaire. You guys, these are free. These are free and you can do as many as you want. So if you're doing 5 of these a day, then once again, you've got 25 in a week. You've got 100 in for the month. Somebody is going to put you on their recruiting board. And look at what I put at the top. All you have to do is put San Diego State football questionnaire. If you're wondering how to find the questionnaire, just Google it. Google the school and then put in football and then put in questionnaire. And then where it's going to take you is to their website. Now, you should be on their official website. If for some reason it takes you to some random third-party website, then you don't want to put in your information there. But you should be on that school's athletic website. And then you put in your information. Okay. So this is step one. This is step one to starting to get the wheels moving. Okay. Now, what's the best days to contact a coach? Because not all days are created equal and not all coaches are created equal. We're going to be telling you guys as we move through this process which coaches are the ones you want to reach out to. Okay. So you don't waste your time. But let's go back to when is the best days. You probably didn't even think that there was best days, a lot of you guys. But there are indeed best days to reach out to college coaches. Business on Mondays in any industry is going to be hard for you guys. So we slash Mondays. You know, you guys are getting your week started and the coaches are getting their week started. So Mondays are traditionally not going to be great. You're probably not going to get too many people getting back to you on Mondays. And then you guys on Fridays, a lot of, now I'm talking in season. I'm talking in season right now. So off season, you got a little bit more flexibility and things. And there's times where you can get them pretty much all week off season. There's also times in the off season that are pretty difficult too. But right now it's November. So we're talking in season contact. These are things that we keep in mind working on behalf of our athletes with before you go pro. So we make our recruiting calls for the most part on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, you guys. And Friday and Saturday, once again, in season, teams are going to be traveling. And then also on Saturdays, it's going to be a heavy, heavy game day. So you're not going to reach anybody on a game day. Now, I just mentioned there are certain conferences that now, since it's later in the year, they're playing right in the middle of the week. We just talked about Javaria Sims playing for Central Michigan, Coach Cormier coaching for Ball State as we speak, you guys. So if Ball State's on your list, you got to look at their schedule and be mindful because you may be trying to get to Coach Cormier on the Tuesday and he may be playing a game. You know, and you're wondering why he's not getting back to you. So especially during this time of year and some of the lower conferences, you guys be mindful. But these are going to be traditionally your best days, you parents, you coaches out there that may get this content, you athletes. These are going to be your best days to contact coaches. Now, what to say? What to say? We talked about this, but keep it right here in this wheelhouse. Keep it right here in this wheelhouse. Everything, and I'm talking initial content, you guys. I'm talking about icebreakers, okay? If the coach has already got a relationship with you, then you guys already got things to talk about. He may be asking you about things with your season, playoffs coming up. We've got a couple of kids who have gotten injured. You may have a coach asking you about that. But if you're just breaking the ice with some coaches and building the relationships, this is going to be your wheelhouse. This is going to be your wheelhouse. You want to say encouraging things because, once again, those coaches are human beings and encouraging words always stand out. You want to inform. What's inform? I want to let the coach know we just had some athletes that have been accepted academically into some schools. You want to inform those schools that, hey, you know, I know you guys haven't offered me a scholarship yet. I know that you guys are maybe evaluating my film. Maybe I haven't even been offered a PWO yet, but I'm definitely interested in your program. Love the way you guys go about business. And I've just been accepted. I've just been accepted. So you're informing them. And then, of course, update. I just got a school that is in their conference that is just offered me. So now I'm leveraging that. I'm going to update the other coaches that they play against. I'm going to update the other coaches that they play against. So once again, this is number 2. It says number 1 here, but number 2, how to reach out to schools, And we're going to start, you guys, with those questionnaires after we know which schools to reach out to. Now, last question. And once again, it says number 1. So I apologize, but this is question number 3. Should I apply to schools? So this is one that we get a lot. We actually talked about it on our last recruiting live show. If you have not been tuning into the recruiting live show, especially if you are a 2024 athlete, you're getting to us late, please go to the Before You Go Pro YouTube channel. You should definitely be subscribed, like Coach Foss said, and make sure you get all of our notifications and check back on those old shows. Because we may have a situation that pertains to you in particular. It may pertain to you. It may be the thing that you hear that gets you to the money. Okay. So I know you're getting some love and some content and some service tonight, but also check out those old shows if you guys haven't. Okay. So let's get back into that last question. Should I apply to schools? I don't have any offers. I might have a PWO. I might not. I might have some interest. I might not. But I know I want to play college football, Coach Wood. Should I just be proactive and just apply academically to some schools? My counselors at school are asking me and telling me I need to apply. So what should I do? So great question. What we tell our athletes before you go pro, especially when we're getting to this point where, there's some deadlines closing, some different things going on. Counselors are all in your head about it. Apply. That doesn't mean you can't apply and say you're going to this school and then switch it up if you get a PWO or a scholarship or something. Some cases you may have to pay a fee, but apply. If there's schools that you already know that you would go to, if they gave you a scholarship or a PWO, you love that school, there's something about that school, you would really want to go to that school, then apply. Go ahead. Now, as far as recruiting, and we've got some athletes, and we'll use Nevada Reno as an example. You guys may have seen David Walker come in here and say that he's interested. I know Big Bubba is interested in Jesse in Nevada Reno. I know Tip Manu is. If you guys already have a school you love, like a Nevada Reno, you go there. If they offered you a scholarship or PWO, go apply. Because it doesn't hurt us, you guys, to say that you've already been accepted. It doesn't hurt us to say that you've already been accepted. It's one less thing for them to do, and they appreciate that. So, you don't have to apply to a million schools, but if there's 2 or 3 Ivy League school, HBCU that you definitely know you would want to play football for, then go ahead and apply. Now, as far as the football side of things, the football people will facilitate your admissions process if a school is interested in you and wants to bring you on their team, whether that's scholarship or PWO. We can utilize the football program to facilitate them helping you get through that process. And also in cases where you've missed a deadline. So let's say that maybe San Diego State has offered you a PWO and you don't take it. And then all of a sudden Cal offers you a PWO and you do want to take that, but you haven't applied. You applied to San Diego State. You've been accepted there. You're all set if you want to take that PWO. But for whatever reason, you didn't take it. You were waiting for a scholarship or you're waiting for a bigger school. And then all of a sudden, Cal came along, the school you really wanted to go to. Maybe you didn't apply there because you thought it was far-fetched. Well, if Cal really wants you, scholarship-wise or PWO, they will make sure that you get in academically. As long as your grades are good, they'll make sure a portal is open for you to apply. When Javaria Sims got the scholarship offer to Central Michigan, they were past deadline for admissions. The school grabbed his transcripts. The football program grabbed his transcripts. They went through the admissions process on the back end after the deadline. They said he's approved, and then he was in. I don't even think he ever did an application himself for Central Michigan. Okay, so if you're going the football route, the football program will help facilitate you going through that admissions process. But once again, there's already schools you want to go to, and the football route hasn't gotten started yet, or it's revving up, then just go ahead and apply. Go ahead and apply, like those kids that we know want to go to Nevada, Reno. Okay, so those are 3 questions that we covered tonight, you guys. The first one, once again, is it too late? Is it too late to go D1? And the answer is no. The answer is no. You want to be proactive. You want to get rolling, but the answer is no. Now, also with that being said, do not exclude D2, D3, and NAI programs. There's some D2 programs that can whoop some D1 programs' butts, and also send guys pro and all the other things. And then if any school is offering you money, you guys, it's a lottery ticket. So I don't care if it's D3 or NAIA, there's nothing like college. Go off and experience college. Keep your options open, especially if you don't have anything in your back pocket. You want to be cordial with these coaches. I know a coach that was at an NAIA school last year, and now Coach Foss, we're talking about the great Johnny Photo, one of our own, came through our program, went to NAIA Kansas Wesleyan, played there, then started coaching there. Now he's at FCS Division I, Western Illinois. And he's waiting right now. I'm sending him some film on our athletes. So some people may have got the call from Coach Johnny Photo when he was at Kansas Wesleyan and said, "Where are you at?" NAI. No, I'm not going there, and hung up on him. But now he's at a Division I program a year later. And coaches never forget, you guys. Coaches never forget. And they don't care if they're recruiting you at an NAIA program. If they really, really like you and feel you were a steal, they'll also recruit you at that other school they go to too. So keep that in mind, you guys. Keep that in mind. That actually happened in my life. When I was coming out of college, I was recruited by a coach named Reuben Carter. He was at San Jose State. I'm a California person. He was at San Jose State. I'm already hearing from Colorado, Oregon, bigger schools. He's at San Jose State. I kept it cordial with him. I kept it nice with him. And even though I knew I wasn't going to San Jose State, I was always nice with Coach Carter. And then guess what? Literally in the midst of him recruiting me, he ends up going to Maryland in the ACC. And then he calls me up because he still liked me. He called me up, and I was always good with him. We had a great relationship. He calls me up and says, "Hey, you got an offer in Maryland. I want you to come take a trip." I never took the trip, but I could have if I wanted to. So who's calling you from that D3 program, that D2 program, who may be on the move soon? Keep that in mind, you guys. All right. So we answered, is there still time for Division I school? Yes, there is. We're in November, early signing period in December, regular signing period in February, but there is still time at the Division I level. A little bit harder, Power 5. A little bit harder, Power 5, but there is still time. Question number 2, it says number 1, but it's number 2, how to reach out to schools. We covered that. We said start off with the questionnaires. Start off with the questionnaires. And then question number 3, should I apply? Should I apply? And the answer is yes, you can apply. It's no harm, no foul if you do. If you get accepted, that's just another step in the right direction. Okay, you guys. So that is it for tonight's recruiting live show. Once again, every single Tuesday, you guys, I'm going to bring you the sauce. I'm in here with my team. We're in here with the questions. We've got our own players in here. We've got players from across the country that watch this content so that they can get closer to the back. I've already lived this life. Now I want you guys to do it and do it even better than I did it. Okay. First thing first, we got to get you some interest. We got to get you some exposure. We got to get you some offers and some options. Okay. So last but not least, you guys, if you have not already, please like and subscribe. The Before You Go Pro team spends a lot of time and effort to give you guys some of the best content in football. to make sure that we're growing an amazing organic community that is going to see some amazing things happen. Some people go play at high levels and do amazing things in the football industry, not just on the field, but also off the field and in the community. So if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our channel. Please share with as many people as possible. If you are also unaware, Before You Go Pro is more than just content, you guys, more than just content. We are actual practitioners. We are a recruiting and mentoring program. We have some of our own athletes that are in here live right now, and many will be watching after practice or after homework. But we do this, and we do it on a big level, and we have helped aspiring college football players get to the next level for over 17 years now, almost 2 decades. Coach Wood is getting a little old, but this is our recruiting database. We only accept 10 athletes each year at each position, so very, very exclusive. You also receive access to a membership portal, access to our team, and lifelong support, career-long support that many of you guys need, because if you haven't noticed, the football industry is crazier than ever. We've got the transfer portal that is popping. We've got NIL. We've got coaches going from school to school, which reminds me, that's another thing that you guys need to keep in mind. And not just at the D1 level. Of course, it's going to be more prevalent at the D1 level, but also at the D2 level, D3, and NAI level, you guys, as some of these coaches will not be at the schools that you think that they're going to be at. And a lot of times when coaches make a move, there's a domino effect. There's a domino effect. Sometimes it plays in your favor, sometimes it doesn't. So keep that in mind as you're talking to coaches. Do your research, because a coach may be telling you that he loves you and he's going to get fired after next year because he's lost the last 4 years, so keep these things in mind as you're going through the recruiting process. If you guys have any comments, any questions, any concerns, please feel free to put that in the comment section right now. Once again, we come here every single Tuesday to make sure that you guys have the information you need to be a level above everybody else, and a step faster to that college football roster spot. All right. Because it's an amazing experience, you guys. I'll be going to the University of Colorado, my alma mater, this weekend. We'll be documenting a lot of that trip. We've got 2 athletes already on the team. Once again, this is a mentoring program. We've been doing it for years. So we've got kids playing across the country, get to break bread, spend some time with them. Also, we'll be strengthening our recruiting ties with Coach Prime and Coach Corey and everybody up there at CU. So some of you guys that may watch this may be interested in playing at my alma mater. And that is definitely a relationship that is strong with Before You Go Pro. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the content that we're laying out. Also, join us Thursdays. Thursdays, we have our locker room show where we bring in people from the industry, coaches, players, business professionals that have unique angles and insight on the football industry, and they always are eager to share and to serve you guys. So that's every Thursday live too. You guys make sure you tune into the locker room show. So last chance, does anybody have any questions, any comments, concerns about college football recruiting? Once again, early period coming up in December. First time that the 2024 class can put pen to paper, then the regular period coming up in February, and that goes all spring, baby. So let's get you to that scholarship offer. Does anybody have any questions about recruiting? Any comments? Any fears? All right. Well, hey, make sure you guys are taking care of those academics too. Your core course GPA. If you don't know what core course GPA means, then let's look it up. Go to ncaa.org. It's all right there. Make sure you have your core course GPA ready to go, because you don't want to have that school, Washington Huskies come check you out, Florida State come check you out, but they can't get you in academically, or you didn't take your test score. That's another one. Some schools need test scores, some don't. Let's see. I got David Walker right here. The recruiter is the best person to reach out to on the football staff. Yes. So David Walker right there just gave you guys some game. And if you're talking about the Division I level, a lot of these staffs, they're big time now. So they have people literally dedicated. I just mentioned Coach Corey at Colorado. That his whole job is recruiting. He's not coaching anybody. He's not helping anybody with academics. He is looking for the next offensive lineman, D lineman, because we need some help in the trenches and Boulder. So that's all he does. So to David Walker's point, superstar is, yeah, you want to look out. There's some other ones too. You start following that recruiter, that position coach. Those are the type of people that you definitely want to be in contact with. Okay. So, hey, you guys have a great evening tonight. Once again, this is Coach Wood. I'll be taking off tomorrow for the University of Colorado in Denver. And I will definitely see you guys next week. And then once again, tune in with us on Thursday for the Locker Room Show. We got a very, very special guest on Thursday. A young man played at the University of Hawaii. He's doing some big things in social media that we want to share with you too, still centered around the football life. So excited about that, you guys. We're getting closer. We're getting closer to seeing a lot of you guys sign with superstar colleges, and I'm excited. I'll be watching you guys on TV just like many of our other athletes. So, hey, once again, Coach Wood signing off for Before You Go Pro and the rest of Before You Go Pro family. Make sure you like and subscribe and share, and we will definitely see you at the top. Have a good one.